Boom, we are live. What is going on, Facebook? What is going on, retirement family? All right, so this is the Golden Future Weekly Retirement Show. I'm gonna talk about this retirement live. I'm gonna talk about. I added a housekeeping segment. I'm gonna talk about some things regarding the actual timing of the show or the live moving forward. But good to be back with you all. Again, the Golden Future Weekly. This is a weekly commentary on precious metals and retirement. So let me ask you this. Are you concerned with rising inflation? Are you concerned you won't have enough money for retirement? Are you familiar with BRICS, the fiat currencies, and geopolitics? If you answered yes to any of these, then this live is for you. All right, so Golden Future Weekly, uh, Precious Metals and Retirement Facebook Live. All right, so for all of you who don't know, my name is Ryan Kenyatta. I'm a strength conditioning coach. I am a strength conditioning coach. I've been doing this for 20 years. I did this for the New York Mets for 12 years, where I helped players within the organization for 12 years, where I help players get stronger, faster, minimize injuries. And today I'm here to discuss precious metals, give some retirement tips, and want to dive into geopolitics. All right, so let's begin. So I said I added a before I get into the housekeeping. If you all want to know anything else about precious metals now or after what you learned today, just shoot me a DM, all right? So now let's get into housekeeping. This was originally supposed to be on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock. I have a meeting from 7 to 8:30 sometimes on Tuesdays. So I had that today, and things went a little longer than anticipated. So I'm just going to be safe and make this Tuesdays at 10 a.m. moving forward. Every Tuesday at 10 a.m. moving forward. And also, I wasn't here last Tuesday because of the holiday. I was still out of town, and that's the good chance that's going to take place this upcoming weekend, the 4th of July. So if you don't see me this next coming Tuesday, I will definitely be here the following Tuesday and ready to rock and roll consistently. All right, so I have notes right over here that I'm reading off of. So excuse me for that. I don't mean to be rude, but that's the way I like to do things. So let's continue. So I have to say this. I am not a financial professional. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a person that's approaching retirement and is concerned about the current economy internationally and domestically. And I want to prepare myself for retirement. And those that are interested, I want to help you prepare as well. Just my a little information I've learned through research and such. So, but if you want to get down to it and you want to get some real financial help, contact your financial advisor. Contact a financial advisor. All right. So when I printed this up, I like to tell you where gold and silver is right now. Right. Gold is at $2,367.60. That's up $11. Silver is at $30.57, which is down 27 cents. All right, so not big changes taking place with the gold and silver and the spot prices, right? So I identified spot prices last time. That's basically what gold and silver is, the cost before it leaves the ground, before any type of, fees are involved, removing it from the ground. It's just what it is when it's in the ground, all right? So, what we're going to cover today, we're going to cover trends, precious metal trends, right? We're going to cover precious metal trends, and I want to give you some retirement tips. I want to dive into geopolitical or geopolitics. Now, geopolitics was really hot last week. I want to dive into what was mentioned. Now, we need to do our work, our research together to find out what was mentioned last week, whether it's fact or fiction. I want to talk about that in a little bit. But for now, let's dive into these precious metal trends. What's trending with gold right now? I mentioned this before. Central banks are buying gold by the ton, all right? Just in case someone's not familiar with a central bank, here in the States, the Fed is the central bank, all right? They print the money, right? So central banks are increasing their gold reserves, driving up demand and prices, all right? Investment demand. Investors are seeking gold as a hedge against market volatility, inflation, and current fluctuations. All right. And economic uncertainty. There's a lot going on right now. They reference the pandemic here, and trade tensions and political instability are contributing to investors' appetite for gold. What's happening in silver? There's an industrial demand going on right now with silver. Silver is used for various industrial applications such as solar panels, electronics, and medicine. So there's a strong demand for silver at this time, right? So it's driving prices. And we have supply concerns. Mine supply distributors, recycling issues, and reduced production in some countries are contributing to tightness in the silver market. All right. And then we have investment trends. What's going on with that? Next page. Investment trends. All right. Physical demand. Investors are increasingly seeking physical precious metals as a store of value and hedge against market volatility. That's discussing. I mentioned that in gold. Same thing with silver, right? EFTs and funds. So exchange traded funds, EFTs, and other investment products offering exposure to precious metals are gaining popularity among investors. All right. And you have junior mining companies. These are companies looking for gold and silver, right? Mining. Investors are looking at junior mining companies as a way to gain exposure to precious metals with potential upside. All right, so they're looking into these mining companies, and a company looking for gold. Just to redefine that, a junior mining company is a company looking for gold and silver deposits. All right, and so you can't go wrong with mentioning diversification. All right, this goes back to your financial advisor. Talk to your financial advisor about maybe there's a certain percentage you might want to divert towards your precious metals. All right. I've talked to one financial advisor, and I believe he said between 3 and 10% or 15% of your investment portfolio should be in gold or precious metals. Precious metals. All right. So, I mentioned the first show. I defined fiat currency. The U.S. dollar is a fiat currency. All currencies on the planet are fiat, right? Except for gold and silver, that's true money. But a fiat currency is a government-issued money that has value based on the government's maintains it, and people trust it. And some say it's backed by oil. We're going to get into that a little later under the current events or the geopolitics. And it is not backed by any physical commodity like gold and silver, which it was at one time, that it being the U.S. dollar. All right. Geopolitics run the world. Most of us pay no attention to them, but that stuff's going on behind the scene. We're distracted with, anything from entertainment to sports. We're distracted with all these things as the major players play the game behind the scenes. All right. So geopolitics is a study of how geographic factors such as location, natural resources, and physical terrain influence political power, international relations, and strategic decision making amongst nations. All right. So, let's see. I have some notes here. So we're going to dive into what was really hot last week within geopolitics, and that was the petrodollar. All right. So let's define what the petrodollar is. The petrodollar allegedly, I have to say allegedly, because we don't even know if this happened. There was an informal agreement between the Saudis and the U.S. for the Saudis to only buy oil in U.S. dollars. So again, we don't even know if that happened. But what's fact is this enables the U.S. to be, this is one factor that enables the U.S. to be the world currency, right? You buy you buy oil in dollars, you make other purchases internationally with dollars, all right? So that puts us as the world currency, right? So now here's the alleged thing. The petrodollar was terminated, loss of reserve currency status. The U.S. dollar status as a global reserve currency could be change, making it less attractive for countries to hold as a reserve asset. All right. So, like I said previously, if this is true with the petrodollar, the U.S. could possibly not remain the world currency, which could affect our prices. All right. And we're experiencing inflation right now. This could potentially take it to a whole nother level. But like I said, this is all alleged. There's also information. I did some research online, and I didn't see anywhere that confirmed that this was just something that was an informal agreement. All right, and I saw other platforms that said the oil is purchased in other currencies. So, comment below. What's your take on that? What's your take on the petrodollar? Is that real? Did this agreement really take place, or is this just some informal agreement that people have been talking about for, I believe, 70 years? It's either 50 or 70 years. So, but like I said, in theory, if that deal did take place, and we're working towards not being the world reserve currency, that could be a problem down the road. We can only time will tell, right? So, and if that happens, I'm going to give you some of the possibilities. All right. So I mentioned one. Now, reduce demand for U.S. Treasury bonds. If oil trades are no longer denominated in U.S. dollars, countries might reduce their demand on U.S. Treasury bonds, which could lead to higher borrowing costs for U.S. government. All right. Weakening U.S. influence. A shift away from the petrodollar could diminish the United States' influence over global currency markets and reduce its ability to exert pressure on other countries through economic means. All right. And increase competition for the dollar. Other currencies such as the won or the euro could potentially gain ground as a reserve currency, providing an alternative to the U.S. dollar. So that's what we could potentially be looking at, and that's considering if this petrodollar is fact and not fiction. This petrodollar agreement that's recently broken, again allegedly. So again, only time will tell, folks. So that's what's happening. That was what's happening geopolitically last week. It's early this week. I don't really have anything new, but this is a weekly show, a weekly live. So every week you're gonna hear something new regarding geopolitics. All right, and precious metals. All right. So now I want to get into retirement. Now, this basically these retirement tips. They're anybody can take these, whether you're 20 or 50, right? Anybody can use some retirement tips. If you're 20, you want to learn how to get out of this game, this rat race, early as possible, right? If you're 50, you want to figure out this game, figure out what you need to do to accumulate, to increase your savings, your retirement plan, your retirement account, as quickly as possible, so you can get out of here in a decent time. So I'm going to be providing tips to help everyone with that. All right. And speaking of these tips, I have a video right here. I hope you guys can easily see this. Pretty good video right here. Gives you retirement tips from 20 years old to 50 years old. So let's go ahead and dive right into that. Check it out.
How to get to early retirement if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or even 50s. If you're 20 years old, save at least 20% of your income every month. Open a broker account as soon as possible. Just find one on brokerchooser.com and invest a part of your savings into stocks and crypto for high growth. You're younger and you can take big risks with no consequences. If you're 30 years old, maximize your contributions in your retirement account to pay less taxes. Track your expenses with automated tools. Set up automated investments into index funds or broad ETFs and aim to increase your income with a side hustle. This is the part of life in which you want to optimize everything you can. Income, expenses, and investments. If you are 40 years old, save at least 30% of your income. Reduce the risk investments and calculate your retirement plan on NerdWallet website. When you're 50 years old, you must focus on preserving wealth rather than taking more risks. Diversify your wealth across stocks, bonds, commodities, and gold, and start to enjoy life with the passive income you build. The key takeaway is that it's never too late to start investing. And if you want to speed up your path to wealth, follow me. How to get to early retirement if you're in your 20s, 30s.
All right, folks, there we have some retirement tips. I'm going to drop that link in the comments here, so you guys can look it up. You can check out that video yourself, put some good information there. Whether you're 20, 30, or 50 years old, there's something we can do. You know, like I mentioned earlier, if you're in your 20s, you want to get out of this game early, right? And if you're in the 50s, you definitely want to master this game as quickly as possible. Save your money, put that toward your retirement fund, and get out of this thing as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible, right? As efficiently as possible. And that might mean picking up a temporarily, or how long is necessary, maybe picking up a part-time job, adding that extra income, putting it away, you know, diversifying your portfolio like the gentleman mentioned. So definitely check out that video. And he mentioned, I'm going to give you something, an actual actionable activity based on what the gentleman said. He said, you want to calculate your retirement, right? He mentioned that. Calculate your retirement. That means we need to download the Nerd Wallet app, all right? Download the Nerd Wallet app. I'll put that in the comments as well, all right? So that's all I have. This is never going to be too long. We're just going to dive right into it. DM me if you have any questions about precious metals. That's my specialty here. And before I leave, precious metals. Yes, we have a couple samples right here. In the first video, I mentioned collectibles and the different strategies that you can use when you're dealing with collectibles, right? Here's a collectible right here. Here's one right here. It's a silver eagle right there. All right. We got a couple more over here. What is this? This is another collectible right here. Another eagle. One of the state animals. All right. What do we have here? This is a more patriot right there. Another collectible right there. President Roosevelt on the back. You can see that. And here are some cool ones right here. This is actual currency. Has a little gold in here. This is a little currency right here. I have another one right here. See that? These collectibles, right? Got the collectibles. So we'll be learning more about collectibles, and we'll dive into the different strategies when it comes to precious metals. The two strategies that are the most popular, most discussed, are your offensive and your defensive. But for us retirees, really retirees, our future retirees, and really for everybody, you also have what I call the special teams, all right? And this involves passive income. So those are the different strategies. We'll dive into that later. But again, if you want to know anything about precious metals, just shoot me a DM. You guys have a great rest of the week, and I will be here. Hopefully, like I said, it's the 4th of July coming up. I might be traveling Tuesday. If not, I will be here Tuesday at 10 a.m. Again, you guys have a great week, and I am out. Bye-bye.